What can you do for us that someone else cannot do? Well, you can't possibly know other candidates' capabilities, so focus on what you bring to this position. Your answer will then demonstrate your grasp of the job's responsibilities, the problems that occur in each area, and how you were prepared to deal with them. You might want to add something along the lines of, I also bring to this job a determination to see projects through to a successful conclusion. And you might end with, what else are you looking for? This shows that you're engaged. This shows that you're willing to learn and to listen. What achievements are you most proud of? Use an example of something that is at the core of your job and central to its success. Perhaps a time when you were part of a team working on a large project beyond the scope of individual contributions, or maybe a time when you accepted responsibility for a project that wasn't particularly desirable, but it became a success within your department or your franchise or your company. Tell me about a time when an emergency caused you to reschedule your workload. This question examines your multitasking skills and how you handle emergency imperatives. So we all have emergencies at different times in our lives. We all have challenges. How do you handle those? You'll make points when you explain how your planning and time management skills helped you to stay on top of your regular responsibilities, even when emergency priorities threw your normal scheduling off. Your story should illustrate your flexibility and your willingness to work extra hours if that's necessary. What is the most difficult situation you have faced? Here you're really being asked two different questions. What do you consider difficult, and how did you handle it? This means the interviewer will be evaluating both your critical thinking and your technical skill set. So don't talk about problems with coworkers. Instead, focus on a job-related problem because this will show your problem solving skills. We've talked throughout these presentations about the importance of problem solving and the steps a professional takes to identify the most appropriate approaches and solutions. Make sure you have several scenarios chosen for yourself for that particular job title description. Tell me about a situation that frustrated you at work. This question is all about emotional maturity. The interviewer wants to know how you channel frustration into productivity. You're probably not going to actually tell them about a time you were really truly frustrated at work. Give an example of a difficult situation in which you remained diplomatic and objective and found a solution that benefited all who were concerned. Show yourself to be someone who isn't managed by your emotions. You can acknowledge the frustration, but then you can put it aside in favor of achieving the goals of the job you're being paid to do. What interests you least about this job? So this question is, of course, potentially problematic, but there are ways to work around it. So no matter what your occupation is, there's going to be one repetitive, mindless duty that everyone groans about, but that still has to get done. You might use this as your example. So, X are probably the least demanding part of my job. However, I know they are important for Y. And then you might follow that up with your strategy for getting them done. Maybe it's what you do first thing in the morning to start your day off so that get is out of the way, or perhaps it's something that you do at the end of the day as part of that review of your daily activities or your performance rule and the performance review and next day planning. So by addressing something that you recognize and everyone recognizes as not particularly compelling, you show that you recognize the challenges of the job and that you know how to work that into your daily routine. Do you have any questions? Okay, this is going to be super important. This is going to tell your interviewer a lot about you. So put some thought into this. Come up with a number of questions that you might want to ask. Make sure that you have a few there because some might end up getting answered for you during your interview. So you want to have a few backup questions. Who succeeds in this job and why? Who fails in this job and why? What do you consider the most important day-to-day responsibilities of this job? What are the most common day-to-day problems of the job? What is the hardest part of the job? Which projects will I be most involved with during the first 6 months? What are the biggest challenges the department faces this year, and what will my role be as a team member in tackling them? What skills and values do you consider critical to success in this job? Of course, the questions that you choose to ask will have a lot to do with the research that you've already done about the company or the organization. They also will have to do with what's gone previously or during this particular interview. By the end of the interview, and this is going to be about the end of the interview, you've probably developed a sense of what's an important consideration for you.